Hey guys, welcome back. I wanted to do a project today to use up some 6x6 paper. I always find myself gravitated to the 6x6 paper pads, especially when they're on a really good deal, because you can get them for $2, right? And then I get home and it seems like every single thing that I want to make requires a larger piece of paper every time. So I came up with this little, tucky thing using 6x6 paper. And what's even better is that it uses exactly 6x6. Like this is 3 inches by 6 inches. So there's no, cutoff as far as that's concerned. You'll just have these little triangle pieces that are cut off. And you know how I am about not wanting a lot of waste when it comes to the paper that we sometimes spend a ridiculous amount of money on. So this is what we're going to make today. It has 3 pockets. So I'll go ahead and pull these little bits out so you can see 3 pockets. I sewed around my edges. It's super, super easy to make. So yeah, let's get started. So you're going to need 6x6 paper. I just grabbed one of mine. This is a Bow Bunny pad from Tuesday Morning that I got for $2.99. And you'll need 3 pieces of cardstock. If you want, and the reason you need 3 pieces is 1, 2, 3. You can use just 2 if you wanted to. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. So I got a few because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but we'll just do this one. Let me grab my paper trimmer, and first things first, we need to cut these down to 3 inches. So right in half, 3 inches. So we will cut all of them. This one, this blue one, is going to be my first little pocket. And I kind of decided that because I wanted this to be visible. So that will be our first pocket. This will be our middle one. We'll cut this one down to 3 inches. And there we go. And then this will be our back one. And we'll cut this one down to 3 inches. I kind of like this stuff at the top, so we'll make it go this way. I kind of like it. So there's that. We could use this. We'll just make it easy on myself. Okay, so the back ones don't get cut at all. This one doesn't get cut at all. We can just sit that one to the side. The middle one, we are going to cut. I got some templates here. So 3x6 is the back one. The middle one is a 3x6 strip. So we'll leave it the same height. And then this side is 4 inches to the start of this. And then it just goes up to the corner. So let me grab a pencil. And I am just going to mark 4 inches on here. Can you see that? Sorry. Probably couldn't see that at all. So I'm just going to mark 4 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4. So right here. And then we are going to cut a diagonal from here to this corner. And I'll just use my paper trimmer and line up the wire. I hope you can see that. I should probably check. Yep, okay. So I'm just marking up that little tick mark with the top corner, like so. So now we have our second little pocket, like this. And if it's not exactly in the corner, because I was having, sometimes I didn't get it exactly right, I used a little punch on this corner anyways, so it's not a big deal if it's not perfect. Now the front pocket is not 6 inches tall because then it would cover up this whole thing, right? The front pocket is 3 inches by 4.5. So I'm going to cut this down to 4.5. Sorry, I cut all those and was probably out of frame. I am so sorry. So we'll cut those down to 4.5. Pretty little piece. And then this one, we are going to mark 2.5 inches up. So let me mark that. 1, 2.5. And then we're going to do the same thing that we did for the middle one. So from this tick mark up to the corner there. Like so. Come on. And then we are done with our trimmer. And that's the basis of it. You could stop right here and it could be done. You could just glue your little sides down and be done with it. I'm always a little extra when it comes to, you know, this kind of stuff. So if you want to sew, like I did on this one, if you want to sew these pockets, you need to sew this diagonal part before you glue it or sew it together. So I'm going to go to my sewing machine real quick. I am going to run some stitches across the diagonal part right here, and I will be right back. All right, so I just did a straight stitch along the diagonal there. You can leave the tails, you can cut them off. I will usually cut off at least the back one, just so it doesn't, you know, mess with the stuff that I'm putting on the inside. But you can leave it if that is your fancy. I think I'll leave the front ones for now, but I am going to cut off the back ones. Just because I don't want them getting caught up, and when I'm putting stuff in and out of these pockets, they'll probably just get shoved down inside the pocket anyway, so I might as well just cut them off. So we have those. Then we can glue our sides down here and then put this one on top and do the same here. And then you can sew around the outer part of that as well. You don't have to glue first. If you're comfortable enough with holding all three of them together so that they don't move around. I'm not, so I always like to tack it down a little bit with just a little bit of glue. And it, you know, if you use, you know, like Fabri-Tac, it dries pretty quick. So I usually just let it sit for a second before I run it through my machine so that I don't gum up my needle. So let's go ahead and glue that down. After you glue it, you can, let me move these strings. After you glue it, you can also round these top edges if you wanted. That way you would just know, you know, what the shape of that corner was going to look like before you did your sewing. Or you can just leave them square. I just liked the way I had that kind of scalloped edge punch, so I used it. Move that out of the way. And we just line them up. I love this. I love that this is the only scrap from 2 pieces of 6x6 paper. You know how I am about this scrap. If you haven't seen my no scrap ephemera folder, I'll link it below. And if you have seen it, then you know my passion with not wasting my paper. I hate it. Well, and here's the other thing. You know, not only is it a waste of paper and money, right? It ends up in my scrap bin. And if any of you are like me, my scrap bin is overflowing. I need no more scraps in the scrap bin. So when I'm doing projects and kind of designing projects and, you know, doing the blueprints of them, right? I am so much more aware of the cutoff waste. because I know that I'm not going to be able to, you know, throw it away. We can never do that. That it will end up in my scrap bin until I make, you know, little scrappy embellishments. Because we can never throw anything away. Ever, ever, ever. And it's so funny because I am a purger. Oh, when it comes to cleaning, I am a purger. I'm like, if I haven't looked at it in, you know, a year, I throw it away. I don't need to keep it. My husband is a hoarder. We moved 4 years ago. We still had boxes in, you know, our basement, which is finished, by the way. We have a living room and a bar area and a game room. That's where this room is. My husband's studio is in the basement. So it's not like it was down there and got forgotten, I guess is the point I was trying to make. So we had boxes down there still, and I just went through them. And in my husband's memory box, I found old Trident gum packages. I found Altoid tins with Altoids still in them. I found just, it's like he emptied his pockets and put it in this memory box. And then it actually moved with us. Like, we took the time and energy to move this box. So I was going through it, and my husband was freaking out. Like, I have to, are any of your husbands this way where you kind of have to, like, get rid of stuff when they're not home because you know they will never notice that it's gone? That's my husband. That is definitely my husband. He's every single t-shirt has a story, even if it no longer fits him because he wore it when he was 12. Every hat has a memory attached to it, even though, you know, he might not even, like, care, but he doesn't want to get rid of it. Anyway, that was my little ramble about the fact that I hoard paper scraps, but I will throw away pretty much anything else that causes clutter in my home. But paper scraps, I just don't have the heart to do. So after you have it glued, you let the glue set for a minute. I'm going to take it back over to my sewing machine and go ahead. Well, actually, here, let me do the corners first. So this is the corner punch. It's a Creative Memories. I don't know. It's just a decorative corner. This thing is so old. So we'll punch those. Punch that one. So we got a little decorative corner there. Oh, I don't think I got that one all the way. Let's try again. I think it's hard to get in there with the... There we go. All right. Now I'm going to take it back over to my sewing machine and go around the edges, and I'll be right back. All right. So I just went ahead. I sewed around all of the edges, and I cannot believe that I forgot to say, if you want to ink it, you should probably do it before you put it together. I didn't do that on this one. Don't ask me why. I got so caught up on throwing out my husband's old t-shirts, I forgot to say anything about it. So, you know, if you wanted to ink this top edge, of course you would want to do that before you glued your edges together. Otherwise, I mean, I guess you could try to do it now, but it's a little difficult to do it now. So, yeah, and then you can just get your goodies. Where's my goodies at? I'll just use these same goodies that I had before. Put back in here, and then a few little ones in here. That bird's kind of pretty with that, isn't it? A little ticket. And you've got yourself a little folder. If you wanted to do coffee dyed paper on the back, that would be pretty. You could even cover it with a different paper or use double-sided cardstock paper. I don't think that it looks bad just like this, especially if in a journal you just wanted to glue it down. You could glue it down completely and have two pockets. You could glue it down on three sides and have it, you know, a little tuck on the side, which would be really cute too. But I just love the use that this is, you know, kind of no waste. And out of, you know, 3 pieces of paper, you get two pockets because we cut it into 3-inch strips. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, something quick and fun and just an easy little craft. Till next time, guys. Bye.